Hey makers, it's Laura from OpenWorks. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make beer at home. So for the making in place segment today, I'm going to go through the boiling process of how to make beer. So today we're going to be talking about extract brewing versus all grain brewing. All grain brewing is just what that sounds like. It uses all grains versus extracts and generally takes all day to do. Most breweries and a lot of home brewers who have been in it for a while do all grain brewing. But if you're just getting started, or if you have small space, or not sure this is a hobby you want to do or something you want to get into, extract brewing is the perfect place to start because it takes less time, less fancy equipment, and you get pretty great beer. And so here we go. And so for brewing at home, making extract beer, or beer from extracts, you need a good cleaner. You want to make sure all your equipment is clean before you start. And so if you use soap, it can leave a residue on your equipment, and that residue will transfer into your beer. So you don't want that. So you want a specific enzyme cleaner. And so I use PBW, and I make a solution, and anything that I'm going to be using today, I soak in it for 30 minutes and then wash it off with the same temperature water that I made the solution with. And then after that's rinsed off with water, then I spray it with a sanitizer. And so this is a mixed solution from a concentrate of Star San and water. And so I like to keep it in a spray bottle so that I can just easily spray my equipment. And so you don't want to wash this off. You want to just let it dry. And so after you have sprayed it or soaked it and it's drip dried, you're ready to go. Now, I really love to encourage creativity in brewing. Just make whatever. You know, if you think that this will be delicious in a beer or this, try it out. Just make sure that you write it down. And so you want some sort of brew log or book. I have my Lady Brew Baltimore quick guide, which I use for reference, and I have notes sections so I can write the different ingredients. So that way, if a beer comes out really great and it has a flavor that you love, you can kind of backtrack and figure out what you did. Or if you made a beer that tastes like battery acid, you can figure it out as well. And so you definitely want to write down everything you do. So once you have your brew log and everything's clean, and then you have your ingredients, your barleys, your hops, your yeast, whatever, your extracts, you want to have your brew pot and your brewing spoon. So I use a 5-gallon pot because again, we're doing extract brewing. And so I'm going to fill the water up to about 2 gallons. So it's about a little less than half. Different beers might have different amounts of water you start with, but that's generally the amount that I start with. And then you're going to have your brewing spoon, and I like to use this beautiful steel one because it's easy to wash off and it doesn't have little nicks and cuts that bacteria can hide in and bring things into the beer that you don't want. So then after you make your beer, you're going to want something to put it in, something for it to ferment in. And so you want to get yourself some sort of fermenter. Now this is a plastic one, but you can also use a glass carboy or something called a better bottle. And this one's great because it has the different measurements so you can see what it is. And so after you make your beer and you cool it, you're going to pour it in here and then add water till 5 gallons. And then you'll add your yeast, you'll put your top on, and the top has a grommet so that you can put your airlock on there and you can see the bubbles rise to see if it's doing stuff. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So these are the basics of brewing at home. So you need your cleaner, your sanitizer, your brewing pot, at least 5 gallons, your brewing spoon, something easy to wash off, easy to clean, no little cracks and crevices like a wooden spoon where stuff can get hidden, bacteria, and then you need your fermentation bucket, your top with a hole, and your airlock, and you're good to go. Oh, and of course you need your beer ingredients and your recipe. So we'll see you in a little bit in the kitchen as we get started with brewing. Cheers!